Hi, I'm Steve. Welcome back to the Maker's Cave, and today we're going to continue our build of the Agora Models ladder truck number 9 of the Fire Department of New York. This will be, like I said, pack 7. I've got the parts over here all ready to go in case we need to pull any parts from before. I'll put a link below to this build should you decide you want to do this build or some of the other ones that they're doing. So what we'll do now is always we'll bring you guys forward and we'll lay all the parts out and we'll get started. Stage 44 is pretty simple. All they want us to do is just take this side cabinet piece out. We got some D's, some H screws, and that is it. There's no assembly in this, so we'll just push these up here and we'll move over to stage 45. Stage 45 is pretty simple. You know, you've seen us do this before. We're going to be putting together some cabinets. So you've got a compartment inner, you've got a shelf bottom, a shelf top, you got the magnet that goes inside the shelves, you got a little door handle, and you got a left hand cabinet door and a right hand cabinet door. We're going to be doing some gluing, so I've got some painter's tape down here to put the Gorilla Super Glue on, and I've got a couple toothpicks here to apply the glue. Okay, we're going to start by putting this magnet into this shelf. So I'm going to move these doors away. Here is the shelf bottom right here, and the magnet goes right in there. Okay, and then the top of it goes right on top of here, and you're going to secure that with some super glue. Actually, for this, I don't think I need the toothpicks. And then you just hold that together for a few seconds. Put that up here. Next, we're going to be putting these doors together here. So you want to take the right-hand door, go position it like this, and you're going to see that there's a small square right there. That's got to go over the magnet. There's also a small recess here, which goes right here. So you just kind of flip it over to here, put it on here. So again, we're going to glue that. I'm going to put some glue on the posts here. You want to make sure you hold these together really firm. Okay, we're going to put this up here now. And we're basically going to do the same thing with the left-hand door. Make sure it's snapped into place. Hold together for a few seconds. And we'll put this up here with the shelf we completed the 2 doors. Actually, we need to bring this right-hand door back down. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be putting this very small door handle into here. It only goes in one way. So this is where we will use our toothpick here to put some glue in here. There you go, the door handle is in. Now we move to stage 45. Stage 45, we're going to be putting these doors onto the compartment. There are 2, hard for you to see, but there's 2 little bumps right here that go into the holes on here. So we need to put some super glue all along there. So now that we have that on there, we're going to take the right-hand door, the one with the R and the E on it, and we're going to place that on there. Now we're going to turn this around to the other side, and we're going to put some glue all along here, and we'll put the left-hand cabinet door in. You want to make sure you get some on the pins, because that'll engage the metal on the hinge. Hold it there for a few seconds. All right, now that you have your cabinet all done here, you want to open up the doors, make sure the glue is dry before you do this so you don't knock these doors off. And you're going to bring back your shelf, okay, and there's 2 holes on the shelf. They go up. This hole, this little peg right here is going to engage this hole back here. There's little slots right here, and they slide right in here So there you go. Now your cabinet's all done. Now we'll move on to stage 46. Stage 46, here are the parts and some stabilizers. We're going to be building a side step, so we have some parts for that. We've got a lens frame, and we have the red lens. And we've got some step plates, but what I want to draw your attention to right here are the actual steps themselves. There's 4 of them, and they are different sizes, and the lugs are different sizes. These 2 are exactly the same size, and the lugs on this side are exactly the same size. They're about a medium sized. This one's a little shorter than this one, okay? Actually, it's the shortest one, and has very, very small lugs on the side. And this one is bigger than this, but smaller than that one, so it's the medium one. Put that over here. And you can tell which one this is because it has the longest lugs on here. And the directions, as you'll see as we put this together, they'll reference these lugs to let you know which step plate you have to use. Stage 46, we're going to be putting this right rear stabilizer on here, or the outrigger. So you're going to take this piece right here, and there's a little slant or cutout right here. Okay, it's not perfectly square. That has to go up towards the right, and it goes over into here. Once you have it in here, you're going to take your stabilizer bar, and you notice there's 2 lugs back here. They just simply go into here and line up with the holes. Now, by holding this in place, you want to flip this over. Okay, and you're going to use your 2 H screws right here to hold these into place. Now, I do have my rapid tap here since I'm going into metal. The outrigger is now in place. Step 46, we're going to be building those steps. So we're going to bring these back down here. Step 1 is the one with the very short lugs. Step 2 has the very long lugs. And steps 3 and 4 are identical, and those are these 2 right over here. Okay, to start the assembly, you're going to take your 1 bracket right here, and you notice it's wider down here, so that's the end we want to work with. And with this at the bottom, obviously this is the bottom of the step. I'm going to take your step number 1, which is the one with the shortest lugs, and we're going to put it right onto there, but we're going to need some glue on there. Put some glue on the end there. Put it in here, and you want to hold this for a little while. Make sure it takes. Now that step is in there. So basically you're going to take your step 2 now, and you're going to put that, this is the one with the longer lugs, and you're going to put that in there. So again, we're going to put some super glue on here. Make sure you get them on the lugs. Okay, so now we have that on there. We're taking the other bracket here, and we're going to be putting it onto here. So what we're going to do is we're going to just add some glue to the side of these steps here. Again, making sure that you get them on the lugs. And now you have your steps all made. All right, the next step we're going to be putting together in stage 46 is you're going to get your 2 identical steps here, and you're going to need these 2 panels. One's a right, one's a left. The one you need is over here, which is going to be the right step, the right step. And you can tell you have the right one because this one over here has 2 square recesses. You do not want that one. You want this one right here, and you want to orient it like this. So there's a little notch right here. So that's in your bottom right. You're going to take one of your steps, and they're going to go, whoop, and the steps are going to go, pegs are going to go into these 2 holes right here. And you see the grids right here. The grids are going to go to the left, okay? A little diamond plate, that's going to go to the left. So let's put some glue on here. Now what you can do is you can, once that stays in there, you're going to flip that over and you can see the two pegs right there. And what I usually like to do is take some super glue and actually put it right into there to really make sure it holds. Okay, now the next thing you're going to do is see the two holes up from it. Well, guess what? That's where this step goes in. Same orientation. You got this step part, or the step grids, that's going to go to the left here. Again, I'm going to turn that over. Whoops. You want to make sure these steps are all the way in here. As you can see, I have a small gap right there. I need to make sure that goes all the way in there. And this was actually part of 46 too. 46 was putting this one in here. The rest of 46 is you're going to have everything oriented like this. Okay. And then you're going to bring back the steps you just built down here. You're going to turn them like this. And this is why the long lugs were here, because they're going to go into these two holes right down here. So we need to put some glue. Whoops. So we need to put some glue right on here. If I can keep from dropping it. Let that dry for a few seconds. I'm going to push this up here and just let that dry for a little while. Okay, so now you want to go and get the back plate for this step unit. And this is, you can tell which one it is. It's got this big square recess in here. It's got these little labels up here. Okay, and you're going to need your light frame, and you're going to need your red lens. Now, they tell you that the red lens should just be a push-in, but I have found that sometimes you need a little bit of glue in there to hold that. So that's what I'm going to do, is I'm just going to put a small drop of glue. Then we're going to put the red lens into this frame. Okay, so now the red lens is in there. And now we just put the red lens into there. So we're going to put some glue into there. Okay, now the lens is supposed to sit flush, but I don't know if you can see. It's not going into this one hole in the back here very easily. And that is because one peg is bigger than the other. So we'll just turn this around. And now it goes right in. That was my fault. So on the back of this frame, as you can see right here, actually, one hole is bigger than the other. So that's how you want to line them up. We'll bring our step assembly back right here. And then there's two holes right here. With the steps oriented like this, with the labels of this back piece up front here, you're going to put this into here. So we just need some glue all along here. You want to make sure the pegs go completely in. Now the next step in 46 to complete this step is you're just simply going to put the other side onto here. And you're going to simply match up the holes. Got the notch down here. It's going to match up with the notch on this side. So it goes on like this. And there's two lugs right here. And there's two holes right here. So we're going to put glue on everything to make sure this sticks real good. You have to make sure all the posts go in from the back plate and the steps, and it is. Make sure all the lugs are seated tight. And there you go, you've got one completed step assembly. Now that this step assembly is complete, there is one thing I did forget. It wouldn't be a build for me if I didn't forget something. Right in here is where this door handle goes. Of course, it would have been a lot easier to do if I'd remembered to do it when it was unassembled. So now I'm going to have to do it with the step assembly all put together. Shouldn't be that hard. There we go. That wasn't hard at all. So now we have a completed step assembly with the grab rail. Stage 47, we've got a compartment, we've got a turntable gear, we've got some elevator pistons, we have a handrail, and it got two very small, so make sure you don't lose these two handrail washers, and a set of D screws. Okay, in 47, they're going to have us take this compartment that we worked on in the previous stage 46, and we're going to mount it onto here. There are matching lugs on the back here that go into these holes here and here. So it fits on like that. Now you're supposed to hold these in with these very small D5 screws, or type D screws. Now I have found that these don't bite very well into this metal. They do suggest that you put some glue on the end of here. What I did on the other side of this for the compartment is I actually turned around and I put some super glue just on here. Okay, and now I'm going to use the screws right here. I'm going to put some super glue on our painter's tape here. Dunk the screw in the super glue. Okay, so here's the cabinet all attached. These 5 screws, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, did not bite into the frame at all. I did put super glue on the screws when I put them in there. So I would highly recommend putting super glue on the back of this to hold. As a matter of fact, even under here, where the box meets the frame and you're not going to see it, I applied some super glue there to make sure that the box really stayed where it was supposed to go. Yeah, these screws need to be a little bit longer, I think. They don't bite into the frame at all. So while we have the frame like this, we just got done putting this compartment on. Now we're going to go and bring back the step assembly that we did in the previous stage. And we're going to fit that right onto here. There's 2 holes right here. Okay, and the lugs here. And they want us to push this into here so the lugs go in. Now, the last time I did this, the lugs didn't fit in very well. So they said we may have to do some shading. The first thing I do is I'm just going to take our X-Acto knife into these holes and I'm going to twirl it around. Okay, so I scraped the paint off of the inside of these holes. It's still not fitting in there well, so now I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to shave off some of the paint that are on these lugs. On the bottom here, I don't know if it's hard for you to see, but I actually had to cut away a lot of the plastic around here to get it to fit in here. Now, to make sure this step stays in here where it's supposed to, I'm going to put a small line of glue on this one side and on this side, so when it goes down onto the metal, it's going to hold. I will put some around these lugs. You want to put some pressure on here to make sure the glue holds, but not too much pressure, because you don't want to ruin what's on the other side of the frame here. Okay, so now the steps are in. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to bring back this compartment that we got in the previous stage, and it's going to go right onto here. Okay, there's some lugs right here. You got to peel this back a little bit, just very slightly, to get them to fit into here. There's 2 matching lugs back here, and these also get held in with those Type D screws. So again, I'm going to put some super glues right up in here. Now there's a small lip on the edge of this stair assembly here, so this has to go underneath of it. So you're going to pull this back a little bit. Make sure they sit in those holes that they're supposed to sit into. Okay, as you can see, I'm struggling to get this compartment to fit into these holes here. And I think we're battling the same thing, size of the hole and the peg. So I'm going to do something a little brazen here. This peg that goes into there, I'm just going to completely remove it. Okay, make sure the two lugs that are in this back panel go into here. Squeeze these all together. And now that compartment is in there. And they want you to use 2 D screws right in here. So I'm just going to put a little bit of super glue in these holes. 2 D screws are in. Made sure that this panel is completely engaged here. As you can see, the 2 cutouts completely surround this black bottom of the cabinet. And with installing this cabinet, that brings stage 47 to its conclusion. You've got some leftover pieces here which you want to put away. You've got these 2 pistons here. You've got this rotator gear right here. And you've got this bar right here. And more importantly, you have these 2 very small washers. You don't want to lose those. So we'll put them into some kind of a bag. As a matter of fact, we'll use our screw holder right here. We'll use an empty container here to put those washers in. That's it for stage 47. 48 is up next. Here's the parts for stage 48. You got a fire extinguisher. You've got a spotlight that has 3 lenses, and here's the 3 clear lenses that go into it. You got a rear cluster of lights. These small LED, or these small acrylic pieces here, or clear plastic pieces, I guess, are the LED diffusers that are going to diffuse the light that goes through these lenses right here. There's a red, orange, white, and another red. And then there is the rear cluster printed circuit board right here. So let's start putting this stuff together. To start off, they're going to have us put these lenses into this light cluster in the particular order, which is red, orange, clear, and then another red one. Now they want us to use some regular old Elmer's glue, but I don't have Elmer's glue. Believe it or not, or any kind of PVA glue, but I do have the clear Mod Podge, which will work just fine. They don't want you to use super glue because that will diffuse the color. It'll frost the lenses, so the color might not come through. But Mod Podge dries clear. Oh, and there's one little screw here in this kit. Make sure you don't lose that. Just going to put this around on the edges. You want to pay particular order to the order that you're going to put these lenses in. Okay, so you're going to want to do the top one here gets a red lens. All right, the next one down gets the orange one. Then the clear. And the last one is a red one. Red, orange, white, and red again. So that cluster is done. You're going to turn this over. And there are 3 holes right here, 1, 2, and 3. And they're going to get these clear diffusers that have to go in here. You have to make sure they get seated all the way in. Now that you have all those diffusers in there, you want to take your printed circuit board, and if my camera will focus, the different LEDs on here are labeled red, orange, not labeled here, but red at the bottom. So you see the second one is orange, so when you flip this over, second from the top is orange. So this is the way you want to put the printed circuit board on there. So you're going to hold this in place with the M screw that they gave you, which is right here, which is a really crazy small screw. And now that printed circuit board is all in there. you're going to bring back the chassis here. And on this one side we just completed this back cabinet, there is a slot right here, and that is where the light cluster is going to go. So you take the cable off the light cluster you just did, right here. You're going to feed it through this back slot right here. And then I want to tip this, and there's a little opening right back here in the lower left of the cabinet. You're going to feed the connector through that. Turn it upside down. Pull that light cluster through, or the cabling through. Now you're just going to keep feeding this wire through, and you're going to want to push this light cluster in here as tight as you can go. You want to be careful you don't break, you want to be careful you don't break this piece off. If you notice over here, I have broken that off, so I'm going to have to glue that back on later on. So now this light cluster is in here. It's snapped into place. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to put together this spotlight. Here are 3 lenses that go in there. Now you can see in the back there's no holes or anything. So these aren't going to get lit up. So in order to hold these into place, we can use some super glue for that. Now there's a 4th one right here in the package. Whoop, flew off. Right here, I think that's just an extra in case you lose one of these. Okay, so there is the spotlight with all the lenses in. Okay, for the next step, they want us to bring back this midsection that we did quite a few stages ago. And what we're going to do is we're going to take the pickaxe. It's going to go right into here. And it's going to go right into the clamp that's right there. For the next step, you want to go get this tall cabinet that we did back in stage 43. If you open it up, you remember there's already a fire extinguisher in there. Okay, so now we're going to put this other fire extinguisher in there. Now, if you recall, the pegs on the back of this fire extinguisher didn't fit in here very well. So all I did is take a X-Acto knife, put it in these holes, and I twirled them around, made them a little bit bigger. And what we're going to do is we'll put a little bit of super glue right down here between the 2 holes. Okay, and then what we'll do is, using a pair of tweezers, we'll drop that fire extinguisher into those holes. Might be easier if we actually take that drawer out of there. Okay, the pins in the back of the fire extinguisher are in the pin holes right there. Put this cabinet door back in, or the shelf back in. Okay, so now you have 2 fire extinguishers all in there. We're going to bring the frame back again, and what we'll do is just tip this a little bit on its end here. And this compartment right here, you're going to take, as you can see, there's 2 pins. Oh, I'm sorry, there's 2 pins on the back here. This is the compartment you just put the fire extinguisher in, and you're going to put that into here. Now it says if the pins on the side here are obstructing this, you may have to clip these off, and that's what I had to do on the other side. That's what they're doing now. They're not keeping this from going in. So I need to get my flush cutters and just take these plastic pieces off. And actually, there's not even enough there for that to do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have to use the X-Acto knife, cut off these pieces of plastic. So now let's try this again. Now the door is fitting in there completely flush. All right, keeping with this theme, on this side, you've got this long compartment right here. And the door opens down like this. So that's how they want you to put this in here. Again, there's 2 pegs on the back here. They're going to go with the 2 holes that are in the back there. We'll push that into here. There you go. And go back to stage 41. You're going to get this cabinet right here that we built. And that is going to slide right into here. There's this cabinet door in there. All right, your parts from stage 30, you got this panel right here, and that is going to go right on the rear here, okay? These two accessories up here go to the top. There are some posts in there, and they just snap right in. And now that sits exactly where it's, the back frame sits exactly where it's supposed to be. Now, I'm going to zoom in here. This corner of the diamond plate, you have to make sure that wraps around, you know, and fits flush against this cabinet like I have it right here. Then you know you have your piece in correctly. Now, there's two posts right here. They are going to get two H screws, so we need to get some H screws right here. So now that rear panel is on there. And that is it for stage 48. We are all done. So I guess we're moving on to stage 49, the last one in this pack. Before we move on, we did not use this spotlight cluster, just like we built one before and didn't use it. So what we're going to do is we're going to put that away to save for later. Okay, here we are for stage 49. We've got a rear beacon light printed circuit board. We got a fire blanket right here. We got beacon light covers, which are red. We got B, D, and M screws. And we have the box frame section right here. First thing in 49, we're going to be doing wiring up. So you're going to take your printed circuit board leads that they gave you in this stage. You're going to separate them out. There's two of them. Wish I could find the other one there. There's two of them right here. Okay. All right. So on the side here, there's no cabinet. So you're going to take one of them. Doesn't matter which one. You're going to feed it through the top hole here. And then you're going to feed it through this hole in the bottom left of the cabinet. Okay, we're just going to leave it like that for now. Then you're going to want to turn this around. And this beautiful cabinet you put in, you're going to have to take this out. So we need to carefully remove this cabinet. Okay, then we take the remaining printed circuit board beacon light that we have right here. And much like the other one, we're just going to feed that through the top here. And through the hole down here. Okay, so now you have the two beacon lights right here. Okay, zoomed out here. So I'm going to move the chassis over to here. This is the box frame section right here. This is the underneath, which is the smooth side, as opposed to the diamond plate side here. Smooth side up. And here there are two holes. And what they want you to do is to put these beacon lights into here. And you know which way they go because there's a small post right here for a screw hole, and there's a screw hole in the printed circuit board. So we're just going to take the LED, push it through there. And they're going to get secured with a couple, well, one each of an M screw. So now you have the two beacon lights attached to the roof section. Now you want to take this roof section and you want to flip it over. And we're going to put this in. So, but we have to make sure that the printed circuit board cables go through here. Now they want us to use these D screws again. Those are the ones that gave us some trouble before, or they didn't purchase into the metal. But we'll see how they do here. Okay, because this plastic is thinner than the cabinets, these are purchasing into the metal. They're getting a good bite on there. So We have 9 of these to do. All 9 screws are in now. So the roof section is attached. So the next thing they want us to do is go get these beacon light covers right here. And they just want us to push these on top of the LEDs back here. Okay, they say push these on here, but these are not clasping onto here at all. So they are going to have to be glued on there, but right now, I don't want to do that yet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these 2 beacon lights. I'm just going to store them away for later because I don't know if they need to be taken off later for assembly. So maybe at the end of the build, we'll put those on there, because they're definitely got to be glued on there. So next thing we're going to do is we're going to be tidying up this wiring that we have right here. So we're going to turn it this way so the LEDs are on our right. And they want us to pull through all the cables so nothing extra is showing. Now they want us to put this cabinet back in. Okay, so the cabinet is back in. Now we're going to spin it around here. So we have this long cabinet here, and again, we're going to pull the excess wires all through here. Make sure they're nice and snug against the side. And from stage 45, you're going to need this cabinet here. Okay. And tip this here, and we're going to push this cabinet in. There you go. The cabinet is in. Now they want us to actually turn this over. We've got all this wiring here. So they want us to pretty this up. They want us to run it along this side of the battery box. Now back in 39, stage 39, they gave us these clips right here, and they go right in here to help us hold these wires all in place. Alright, so what I did is I put the middle one in first. Now I'm going to do the rear one. I carefully use the end of my X-Acto knife here to push the stubs into the little into the posts that hold the wire. Okay, so using the end of this to put them into there worked really well. So now we have some cable management going here. I'll flip it over again. Right here, there are 2 holes here and here, and they are going to get a type B screw. Okay, so things are going to get fun now because I think we're going to start adding in some cab stuff here. So we want to turn this over. They want us to bring back this cab midsection right here. They want us to turn it over. And there's 2 tabs right here. So you want to take these wires, bring them up over here so they're out of the way. And there's 2 posts right here and here. And we're going to put the cab section right on here. There's also a small tab here that this tab goes into. And you hear it locking into place. And they're going to get held in with 2 K screws. Now the midsection is all attached. It's really starting to look like a fire truck now. Now they want us to turn this over again. All right, now comes the fun part. They want us to go back and get the cab. We're going to turn the cab upside down. Carefully put it there. They want us to join this together. See a hole here? So you have to kind of lift the body up to meet this tab here, and you got to kind of see where the line or the holes line up. Then you can start to screw in. So this is only one screw here, so I wouldn't suggest that hold the whole thing. So I'm going to flip it over. All right, going to the front because I need you to guys see this. So now we have almost an entire fire truck going on. Okay, so we've turned the cab back over again. And now they want us to start attaching some wires here. Okay, so this is a red and black one. This is going to go right into the first one here, into the first yellow. And they are matched, so you can only put them in one way. That one's in there. And the one right next to it looks like it gets a red, black, and yellow. Just three. Oh, red, black, yellow, and green. So that would be whichever one reaches to it. So it would be this one. And then next to it is a red connector. It's hard for you to see. There's a red connector. So whatever color is on the end here is the color it goes to on the connector on the board. Okay, now there's a 3-pin red. So that would be, this is a 3-pin red, but I don't know if it's going to reach. Yes, it does. Okay, so this yellow and black doesn't reach. So what I figured out, let me move it down here, is I need to move this over to here, to this side of the battery cover, instead of going back around over this way. And that's going to give me enough room to get this into the connector. And we have one more red. And I need to do the same thing with this one. I need to go back and route this a different way. Again, I need to route it on this side of the battery box. Now it fits in there. So now all the connectors are in. See how they're all color coded, so you really can't mess them up. Now they want us to actually start testing the electronics, which is really cool. All right, we got our power cells.
Do people still use fossil fuels, or have you discovered crystallic fusion?
Well, let's see. We got double A's.
And there it is right there, the power switch. Okay, the batteries are installed. There's some controls in on the dashboard that we're going to push. So I think we're going to turn off the lights. Well, the one on the top dashboard, I believe, works the horn. And this one right here works, I believe, the headlights. As you can see, there's the headlights working. The tail lights are working. And there's one more here. Or actually, there's another one here. Here's the turn signal. So that's one turn signal. There's the other turn signal. And the backs are flashing too. And there's one more button over here. And I think this is the noise button. Now apparently you can't blow the horn while the siren's on. That would be really cool if you could, but you can't. So we have something that looks like a fire truck. We have lights, we have siren, we have a horn, all the fun stuff. And let's see what is next. And there is no next. This is it for Pack 7. Wow. All the previous packs have come together, and we now have what looks like a fire truck. I mean, eventually, get our little parts over here. Eventually, it's going to sit on the chassis. This is really just, this is too cool. I feel like a little kid. So that brings us to the conclusion of Pack 7 of the Agora Models Fire Truck of New York, Fire Department New York Ladder 9. We did some cabinet work. We did some lighting work. We joined 3 sections of the truck together. We saw it make some noise and some lights. So, like I said before, really cool. So, if you found this video helpful, be sure to hit the like button. If you want to see more of what we're doing with this build and some of the other stuff, we build all kinds of stuff on this channel. Be sure to hit subscribe so you can see those. And if you want to be notified when they come out, hit the bell. So until the next build, I'm Steve. Thanks for stopping by the Maker's Cave.